Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. Marathon hearings on House Republicans' tax reconciliation bill, including $880 billion in cuts to Medicaid that would force millions off health care insurance. After all-night hearings, the House Ways and Means Committee approved the measure today. Christopher Martinez reports.
Republican Jason Smith of Missouri chairs the committee.
If you look at our bill, we're delivering on the president's priorities.
Smith says if the bill does not pass, 207 million taxpayers will get a 22% tax increase when the tax cuts from Trump's first term expire. Smith says the bill will help workers who struggled under the Biden administration.
And ends tax giveaways to China and illegal immigrants.
The other big controversial area is cuts to health and social services. That was a topic in the Energy and Commerce Committee. Republicans and Democrats spoke out, and so did others.
The chair will advise
Several protesters, some in wheelchairs, were escorted out by police. This part of the legislation includes some $290 million in cuts to the SNAP food stamp program, cuts to green energy programs. It also includes an $880 billion cut to Medicaid. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries blasted the cuts in a news conference.
And they want to pay for it by sticking us with additional debt, trillions of dollars, by enacting the largest health care cut in American history, along with the largest cut to food assistance in American history, literally taking food out of the mouths of children, veterans, and seniors in this country. It's shameful.
I'm Christopher Martinez.
Agriculture and the Energy Commerce Committees are also expected to pass measures today. President Donald Trump is in Qatar as part of his 4-day Middle East trip. He's expected to sign an investment deal similar to one signed with Saudi Arabia Tuesday. He then visits United Arab Emirates tomorrow. Democrat Chris Murphy of Connecticut blasted Trump's trip as a business one to enrich himself at the expense of national security. He spoke on the Senate floor Tuesday. Murphy's vowing to force votes on U.S. weapons sales to Qatar and United Arab Emirates, citing both governments' efforts to seek favor with Trump through his and his family's business interests. Trump has developments in the countries. During his trip, President Trump met with Syria's interim president Ahmad al-Sharaa today. Trump says he'll lift sanctions on Syria and said al-Sharaa had agreed to join the Abraham Accords, eventually recognizing Israel. Syria has not confirmed that. Israeli airstrikes across Gaza have killed at least 80 Palestinians today, including 50 in the north and nearly 24 children. Among the targets, the European hospital campus. This as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says a ramped-up military campaign will begin in the coming days to occupy Gaza and drive Palestinians to the south. Israel's 11-week blockade of food and aid into Gaza was the topic of an emergency hearing at the UN Security Council Tuesday as experts warn of starvation. Eileen Alfandari reports.
United Nations officials said 55 Gaza children have died from the effects of malnutrition since Israel imposed its total blockade. Britain was one of the nations which called for the Emergency Security Council meeting on the crisis. Ambassador Barbara Woodward harshly criticized Israel.
Tons of food are currently sitting rotting at the border, blocked from reaching people who are starving. This is cruel and it is inexcusable.
Despite Woodward's strong words, the British government is going ahead with the shipment of F-35 fighter jet parts to Israel, which has used the warplanes to bomb Gaza. A human rights group was in court Tuesday suing Britain to try to stop the sales. In her remarks, the acting U.S. Ambassador Dorothy Shea supported a discredited Israeli plan to use security contractors to deliver aid
while preventing diversion by terrorists and criminals.
The aid plan reportedly would require civilians to move to the distribution hubs or walk for miles to reach them, triggering a forced displacement, depopulating large parts of Gaza, especially the north. Tom Fletcher, the UN Humanitarian Affairs Chief, said the plan would exclude the young, old, wounded, and disabled who are unable or unwilling to move to distribution hubs.
It makes aid conditional on political and military aims. It makes starvation a bargaining chip.
I'm Eileen Alfandary.
A coalition of 20 state Democratic attorneys general say the Trump administration's threatening to withhold billions of dollars in transportation and disaster relief funds until the states agree to aid in immigration enforcement actions. They filed 2 lawsuits claiming the president lacks authority to control and condition funds approved by Congress. Here's Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul.
We will not be forced to choose between partnerships with law enforcement that keep our streets safe and partnerships with federal agencies that help protect us from natural disasters and help keep our roads safe. Congress appropriated billions of federal dollars to help states prepare for, protect against, respond to, and recover from catastrophic disasters. Congress has never tied federal disaster preparedness and relief funds or critical transportation dollars to support for a particular ideological agenda.
I'm Christina Onnested reporting for Pacifica Radio.